to the Thirsty Bitches podcast, where we talk about anything under the sun, from books to entertainment to self-help, and even a little spice. I'm Victoria.
I'm Kiara.
And I'm Katalyn.
And I'm Emily.
Today is a special episode because we have a new guest host with us, Kiara's roommate and best friend, Emily. Mm-hmm. Hello.
Hello.
Please introduce yourself.
I'm Emily, also known as Olive's mother. I brought that joy into Kiara's life.
Yes.
I am Kiara's roommate. First time on the pod. Long time ghost host.
Yeah.
Ghost member. I don't know. I never show my face, I don't think.
This is our second episode where we read Reddit stories. The first one, she wasn't on, but she was the one who found all of our stories.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she did.
My official podcast title will be Reddit Manager.
Yeah.
Happy to have you.
We've been friends for 23 years, so
23 too long, am I right? Just kidding. Kiara is my oldest lifelong friend. We've been through everything there is to go through, and now we live together.
Yeah.
Going on a year. We're almost at a year of living together, so it's been good. She is an official aunt to my child. Who has been on the podcast many
you guys
times.
have definitely seen and heard Olive multiple times.
Yes.
We love
Olive is a recurring, unexpected guest, but that's okay. We love her. She's great.
She'll just stick her snoot in whenever she's up here.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, Emily is going to read us the Reddit stories this time so we can all three react live and in color. And I'm really excited because as the TikTok that Kiara posted not too long ago, I am honest.
Do you want my opinion?
So.
Just say no.
This is kind of fun because it's kind of like I'm going to be the host and you guys are going to be the guests. So you get a nice little different seat on this one right here.
Yep.
You got dynamic. A little bit of weight off your shoulders, right?
Yeah.
You're just here for some pizzazz.
It's very exciting.
But before we get into that, we're going to do our quenchful moments. And if you're new here, a quenchful moment is something happy or exciting that has happened to us over the last week or so that we want to share with each other and with you. And as always, we do like to start with our guests when we have them. So, Emily, what is your quenchful moment this week?
My quenchable moment is we just had another very old friend come to visit us this weekend. So that was cool. Got to have a nice, fun time down in the city. She is somebody that I knew from preschool. And we knew from summer camp from a very young age too, which is, I'm not sure if Kiara's talked about it before, but that's how we know each other.
Yeah.
From YMCA summer camp.
I think it's actually really funny because I talk about Erica on the podcast too. And I'm like, the friends that I'm still friends with from our childhood, they're my camp friends.
So send your kids to camp.
Send your kids to camp if you have kids. Camp is great. We love camp. So that's good. Yeah, Zoe was great. We loved having her. Katalyn, what was your quenchful moment?
My quenchful moment is that I got another arc. It actually came out today. It's called The Stone Circle Queen by Ophelia Wells Langley. And I read it in a day, and it was really good. It's the end of a duology.
So it's the end. It's the end.
It's the end, yes.
That's good to know.
Yes.
Two series that you have finished this week. This week. That I can
This week, yep. But yeah, it came out today, July 30th. This comes out in August, but yeah.
Well,
so the first one is the Borderlands Princess, and the second one is Stone Circle Queen. So it's very good. The FMC is like in her early 30s, and so
I love that.
A little more relatable.
I love when the main characters are older.
Yeah.
It makes it more relatable for us as we get older.
I love reading about adults.
Magic. It's great.
An adult who's been through some things in their lives.
Yeah.
We love that. Victoria, what was your quenchful moment?
My quenchable moment is that I found a new pair of jeans. Every so often, I like to go into Old Navy and rifle through their clearance stuff because I have gotten really lucky. I got 2 pairs of jeans a couple of years ago from there for 94 cents. Yeah.
Damn.
I know, and they're nice.
That's a
deal.
All
right. I know, it's wild. But I like to go and rifle through and see if I can find something. And I found these really cute pair of high-waisted acid wash, like flare jeans. And I've been on a little bit of a hate campaign with jeans lately, so I was really excited to find
Me
those.
too.
Yeah. That was it. Anyways. Kiara, what's your quenchable moment this week?
So my quenchable moment, I feel like is obvious. It is that Emily is on the podcast with us today. As we said before, we've known each other almost our entire lives. She's like the sister I never had. So being able to kind of introduce you guys to her is something really exciting for me. Not to you two, since you guys have met her, obviously, but to our listeners, you guys get to understand who this person is a little bit better.
I'm surprised we waited this long.
I know.
Yeah.
Like a year.
I know. It's okay. We figured it out. We're here now.
Yeah. We've gotten into the groove of it. But yes, we're very excited to have you here to read us these Reddit stories. So why don't we just get right into it? So as you guys know, I've been on a health journey, and with that, I've been looking for tools and products to help me get my health back in check. One of the things I've really been focusing on is staying hydrated, and a product that's really helped me with that is Liquid IV. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than with water alone. It's also come in super clutch when I'm out and about, and I realize I haven't hydrated well enough. Plus, it's super convenient to keep in my bag or in my car in case of an emergency. Right now, you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code STAYTHIRSTY at checkout. That's 20% off of anything you order when you shop for better hydration today using promo code STAYTHIRSTY at liquidiv.com. Stay thirsty, bitches.
Let's do it. So, preemptively, I'd just like to send out a PSA that I did not write these posts. Obviously, if you're not familiar with Reddit, it is a forum where people can submit anything they want. It's an open forum. And I'm going to be throwing out a couple of stories at you guys. We'll kind of get through as many as we can, but just be a little patient as far as grammar and stuff, because not everybody is an English major. So that's a nice way to put it.
Not everybody can write.
Or,
spell.
All ages on here, and I tried to get a decent mix of stuff. But so our first story today is from a forum called Petty Revenge, and it was also reposted to a forum called Traumatize Them Back.
All right.
And why not start out with this one, because it's kind of a little bit of the topic, but this one's a roommate story as well. So the title of this one is Had the Roommate from Hell and Couldn't Get Rid of Her, so I Made Living with Me as Miserable as Possible.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This happened in 2008/2009, but I thought this community would appreciate the story. In 2008, I had just left my husband. I caught him cheating multiple times, and I was just over it. A new girl, we will call her Amy, started at my job, and we became fast friends. I was in the middle of packing up and moving out of my house. I needed a new roommate for a new apartment I was looking at because my wages weren't going to pay the bills. So we moved in together and lived peacefully together for a while. I was moving on with my life. I had gotten a better paying job, was spending more time with friends, and felt okay with my life at the time again. At the time, I was 25, single, and not looking for anything serious, so I had a friends with benefits who would stop over a few times a week. Amy was cool with it on the surface. It did not affect her in any way. My friend didn't hang out at our place. He didn't eat at our place. He didn't use our household supplies. My relationship with him affected her exactly 0%. But I guess she was a little green about the fact that I was getting some attention and she was not. She would flirt with him, go visit him where he worked, etc. But he was absolutely not interested in her. This is where things started to go downhill. For context, she had been married a few times. She was 13 years older than me. She says in parentheses. So OP is, at the time, 25. This would make this woman 38. So she had been married a few times, and the dads had full custody of their respective kids. She was dating somebody, but he was already in a relationship, so he wasn't about to commit to anything besides stopping by for 30 minutes after he worked the night shift every day.
What the fuck?
I tried to point out all the red flags, but she was convinced it was love. This dude used to hit on me constantly in front of her. He was very open about being in a committed relationship with his girlfriend, so I have no idea what Amy thought.
Not that committed.
I have no idea why Amy thought this was going anywhere. After a few months, I met somebody I wanted to be serious with, and so I started dating. We will call this guy Tom. Tom and I got serious pretty fast. He was living in a horrible situation, so he moved in with me and Amy pretty quickly. I think it was about after a month after dating. So we have our room, and she has her room. The bills went from 50-50 to 33-33-34 to make sure things were still even. We had a shared kitchen, living room, and bathroom. After Tom moved in, she started openly hitting on him in front of me. Every guy I had at my house, even just friends, she had to hit on. None of them ever took her up on it. Every single one turned her down, and I think this added greatly to her oncoming behavior. Over the next couple weeks, Amy did a complete 180. She stopped paying rent. She refused to buy any food and would just eat whatever Tom and I bought. Would not wash her dishes. We had 2 cats, one hers, one was mine. And she would never clean the litter box in her room, so her cat would use our hallway floor as the bathroom every single day. Every day when I came home from work, there was a big steaming pile of cat shit right outside my front door, sitting in the middle of a giant puddle of urine.
Ew.
That's so sad. My cat was locked in my room at night with her own supplies, so there was zero chance it was her. It was the same thing every morning by the front door. Whenever she was done eating the food she stole from me, she would set her plate with the leftovers on the kitchen floor for the cats to pick at. She would leave the plate there for days, to the point that if I didn't pick them up, there would be multiple plates on the floor with food in various stages of decay. All of my dishes started going missing, except for the cat's plates, of course. And what dishes were left, she refused to wash ever. She used my toilet paper, laundry soap, even my tampons. This went on for about 2 months, and it just kept getting progressively worse. She would use panty liners every day and would change them multiple times a day and stuff them in the garbage can in the bathroom. She would leave it there completely overflowing and spilling onto the floor for days until I caved and put on gloves and threw them out. The can would be full in about a week, so this happened a few times. That's not even the worst of it. My expensive DSLR went missing. That's a camera for folks who are not camera folks. I was a photography hobbyist at the time, but it was my dream to become a professional photographer and own my own photography business. So that's like a professional level camera. That's like one of the main ones. Yeah. I would shoot stuff for friends and family as practice. And one day I grabbed my camera bag from the shared living room, and as soon as I picked it up, I felt my heart sink into my stomach. You know that instant dread that grips you the second you realize something truly gut-wrenching has happened? I opened the bag, and of course the camera is gone. That was an expensive camera for that time of my life, and it was a gift from my parents, so I was truly devastated. I couldn't prove a thing, and I wasn't even sure how long it had been missing. It could have been her boyfriend that took it, but either way, it was gone. So now this is it. This is the last straw. I need this bitch out. I went from nice girl to fucking psycho in about 30 seconds. I can cuss, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course you can.
Yes. Our podcast called 30
I know.
Bitches
Oh,
Podcast.
duh, of course. I'm not the violent type, and I hate confrontation. I am not waiting for a fucking eviction to go through, and I really didn't have the money for that. Anyway, so here's where I started my petty revenge. Amy wants to live here with me rent-free, stealing my shit, hitting on my boyfriend, and neglecting her cat. So be it. But it's going to be on my fucking terms. One vital piece of information: in my divorce, the dickhead moved back in with mommy, and I took everything from the house to my new apartment, so I owned everything, and the lease was in my name. I started by changing the Wi-Fi password and the computer password. The following week, I had the cable company come and remove the cable lines to her room. I bought a small fridge for my room and a cabinet and put all my food and personal items in my bedroom and put a secure lock on my door. I hid my pots and pans. I locked up the soap and toilet paper. The cabinets were empty. I paid for it all, and I would be the only one using it. When her cat shit on the floor, I would pick it up and smear it on her bedroom doorknob. Overflowing bathroom trash cans filled to the brim with her panty liners were dumped on her bed. I removed the knobs to the washer and the dryer. I did everything possible to make her life uncomfortable. I did other small stuff, anything that came to mind. A few months prior, Amy and I had been working at the same store, and she borrowed another coworker's laptop. She ended up getting fired, but she never gave the laptop back, and the coworker was really trying to get it back from her. Amy ghosted her, of course, so while she was out one day, I went in and took the laptop and gave it back to its rightful owner. Amy called the cops on me and said I stole the computer, but I explained what happened. She admitted to the cops that the computer wasn't hers, and the cops said it wasn't their problem anymore. That one really made her hate me. She wasn't working at the time, so it's not like she had money to do anything or buy anything. She was literally just existing in a room in my apartment. Because remember, the internet's down. She unplugged everything, no cable, nothing.
Staring at 4 walls.
She was literally just existing in the room in my apartment. She would disappear during the day, but I have no idea where she was going. She moved out after about 6 weeks. When she moved out of my apartment, I didn't even know she had left. I just noticed she wasn't coming or going for about a week. So Tom and I cleaned out her room. She left clothes, broken furniture, a cardboard dresser, the 5 39-gallon garbage bags of trash we collected from the mass piles of panty liners, rotten food, and ordinary trash we found in her room. It's a miracle we didn't have roaches. How did they not have roaches?
Or rats.
Or rats, something.
Yeah.
I found all my missing dishes, silverware, and cups all covered in food and grossness. I just threw it all away. I wish I still had the photos, though. Oddly enough, about 6 months later, I opened my back door to take out the trash, and my camera was in a bag hanging from the doorknob. I know Amy definitely didn't return it. For about 2 years after, every time I would find out that Amy was living with someone new, I would message them and send them photos of her room, papers in the trash that had her name on them, and would tell them the whole story. One time it caused the people she was living with to throw her shit out on the porch. She had just moved in and they had small kids and they didn't want to risk it with her. I stopped after that. She knew it was me telling them too, so I figured it had sufficiently made my point. Edit. She took the cat with her, but not before she threw my cat outside. My cat was missing for 10 days. And that is the end.
And I know how stressed Victoria was when her cat was missing for like almost 24 hours.
Yeah, it's stressful.
What the fuck?
Okay. So she does, so people comment and ask, what are her theories as far as the camera? Because she does say that she's confident that Amy did not return it. She said either the shady boyfriend or her sister are my best guesses. I think the boyfriend would have given it to me as an opportunity to hit on me. Her sister was nice, though, but she kept a far distance from Amy. I found out later that Amy had done some bad shit to her sister. I just don't know how the sister would have gotten the camera. She lived quite far away from us.
Okay, so my question is, why did you wait so long?
Why did she let her get away with it?
I would not have waited that long. And honestly, okay, so here is my level of petty. Because I appreciate this petty revenge. So the cat shit in the doorway, I wouldn't just smear it on her doorknob. Oh no, that shit's going in her bed.
She had a line, apparently, and the line was the doorknob.
Going in the bed. And I not only would I remove the knobs from the washer, because if you're smart enough, you can figure out a way around it. I'd disconnect everything. I'd be like, I'm going to take the level of inconvenience to the point where you can't even just exist in this room.
I mean, damn.
So aren't you glad that we don't have roommate problems?
Let me tell you, we were really worried too when we were like before we moved in together.
We had I'm an avid Reddit user, hence the reason why I am here today. And roommate stories are quite popular, and especially everybody preaches don't live with your friend, don't live with your best friend, it'll ruin your friendship. So we talked extensively before moving in as far as.
And I feel like it was a little rough there at the beginning, but I think it had to do a lot with the issues with the apartment above us. And
I mean, and unfortunately, outside circumstances will always weigh on you as well.
Because once we moved in here, Olive finally calmed down and she started liking me.
I will say, I've had a couple of bad roommates. One was like freshman year of college, but I feel like everyone has that. And then the other one was my friend from high school that I moved in with. Not great, but I live with my best friend from college now, and like we've lived together, no problems.
You all met each other at a more mature time.
Yes, yes. So that's what I mean. Is like, you guys knew going into it that there could be problems, so you talked it out.
Exactly. That's the key thing here is that if you as friends can be mature enough to have a conversation and be like, I know this can be weird. I have had one roommate in my life. Very bad experience. I fully relate to the leaving dishes full of food just out, because that's what would happen with me is they would make food, leave the food in the pots and pans, leave them on the stove just overnight, just vibing. So
listen,
can't do it.
Y'all have heard me talk about my past roommates in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think you've heard a lot.
Oh, dude.
Emily's heard everything.
I don't know how you left that.
Emily's experienced them. Like,
yeah.
I think
Keep my comment
you. I don't think you ever met Autumn though. I think she was out when you were there visiting. So there was 2 different roommates in one room, and they were both the same when it came to collecting plates and cups and silverware in their room. All of a sudden there would be like piles of it in the sink and just left in the sink. And Emily knows this. I don't like to leave the sink with dirty dishes at the end of the night, which she enjoys because she'll cook and she doesn't have to clean anything because I'll just clean it.
Rocks.
It's a good deal.
Yeah. And so we had that kind of roommate, and then we had Theone, who was like such a clean freak, like so type A. And I was kind of stuck in the middle of
floating in the middle of that.
I was just like, I'm like, she would complain to me, and then I would go to the other roommate and be like, look, you need to get your shit together. But then it was like a cycle.
As if it was your problem.
It kept going. And I'm just like, why? I'm like, why am I the middleman here? Like, this is miserable. And so, and then we had the issue with the mice, and no one wanted to do it. And they kept being like, we're going to leave the mice here for you to pick up. And I'm like, I'm at work for 8 hours. Like, go clean it up. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So, nothing like to this extent, but
No. God, no.
Roommate
Nothing
that
to that
moved
extent.
out after a year, Morgan, we had rolled up her little rug in the living room to go put a new one down because she was moving out and we bought a new one. And she flipped out on us. She said we were moving her out before she was ready and that we were getting rid of her stuff and she didn't appreciate it. And we're like, dude,
I'm the type of person I would open that window up in your kitchen and shove that rug right outside of it.
right into the back area where the dumpsters are too. Just
exactly.
That's like my roommate freshman year. So I had 2 roommates. One moved out because the cost was too much. But we were fine. The second one, I took my TV home over spring break because I was just slowly moving stuff out because I was moving into an apartment like a week after. So I was like, oh, I'll just, do it in increments. She got mad because I took my TV home. Because she'd watch it, which was whatever. But she got mad because I took my TV home. And I was like,
stupid.
You have a computer.
Listen.
Oh my God. I can't stand shit like that. Yeah, I fully co-sign what this person did. I match that energy. My only question is, why did you wait so long? Because I would have started doing that expeditiously.
Yeah.
And the whole, I stopped telling people, no. If you threw my cat out like that and it was gone for 10 days.
I mean, they put that at the end. This is going to be over.
Too. Yeah.
That should have been up top.
This is going to be over your head for the rest of your life. I'd be like, I'm going to put you in every Facebook group, TikTok, Twitter, where this is going to follow you for the rest of your life. I will be on my deathbed telling people about what a shitty roommate you were. I don't let shit like that go. You don't fuck with my animals. Absolutely
telling your grandkids, pass on the word.
They will pass on the legend of the shitty roommate. I don't care if you're dead and in the grave. I don't give a shit. People are going to know for the rest of your life. That will be your legacy.
All right. Are you guys ready to roll into the next one?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law to shut the fuck up and kicking her out?
Probably not. All right.
Probably not. I'm going to guess. I, 23 female, am currently 36 weeks pregnant and ready to not be anymore. I live with my husband, 25 male, and our pets, but recently his mother has been staying with us because her and father-in-law are getting a divorce. I don't get along with my mother-in-law. I never have, but we're very cordial and we don't spend much time together. Ever since staying with us, she has been absolutely up my ass, critiquing everything I do. I plan on having a home birth. Before anyone is joining mother-in-law up my ass about it, just know that I don't care. I've done plenty of research and have a backup plan and a backup plan for the backup plan and a backup plan for the backup plan for the backup plan. And I will tell you to shut the fuck up as well, so don't waste my time. I love the energy. With that being said, my mother-in-law has continued to tell me that I'm stupid for wanting a home birth and accused me of thinking I'm better than her because she gave birth in a hospital and had an epidural with my husband, who is her only biological child. She tells me I'm going to kill my baby if I don't give birth in a hospital with no medical staff, in parentheses, which is not true. There will be medical staff present, like I said, backup plans. My husband defends me and tells her to leave me alone, but she screams at him and locks herself in a room. Recently, she told me if I have a home birth, she will call CPS and have my baby taken away. I freaked out and told her to shut the fuck up, and if she didn't leave, I would call the police on her for trespassing. She left after crying and called my sister-in-law, her stepdaughter, to come get her. My sister-in-law called me and told me I was heartless and cruel for kicking her out, and she was just looking out for her grandchild. My father-in-law agrees, and so far only my husband and I think we did the right thing. Am I the asshole for this?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Absolutely. Her
Absolutely
mother
not.
Your life. You do what you want.
leaning into the misogyny that was created with hospital births, because that is like the worst position that actually women could be in, is laying down like that to have a child.
Mhm.
That's how women are dying. That's how breaches happen.
Home births happen.
Home births
exist.
Home births happened long before
Midwives
hospitals were around.
exist.
Listen, it is your prerogative to give birth to your child in whatever way you feel most comfortable and what is the most safe for you. That is your decision. Nobody has the right to tell you what to do or not to do when it comes to giving birth to a child. Giving birth is dangerous. If doing it at home makes you feel more comfortable and like it'll be less stressful for you, then certainly do that. I don't care what kind of situation is going on, unless you know for sure that a child is being abused, you do not threaten to involve CPS, because they have fucked up so many well-meaning, happy families, especially with things that are going on right now, specifically relating to queer people. You don't play around like that. If this was me, the minute I'm going to call CPS came out of her mouth, I'd be like, that's it. You're done. You're never seeing this child again. You're never seeing us again. Do not contact me at any point, or I will have a restraining order put in place. You don't fuck around with threatening with CPS.
And at this point, like, I don't give a
because
fuck.
It is a broken system.
I don't give a fuck what the sister-in-law says. I don't give a fuck what the father-in-law says. Like, it's not your child. You are not, like, your genes are, you did not help make this baby. You don't get to decide who, like, how this baby is going to be born. Like, that's not your choice.
Yeah.
There's an edit.
You're not gonna. Okay.
To those giving me helpful feedback and advice and suggestions, thank you. I am confident in my plans, but if anything goes south, I am 5 minutes from the hospital and do have multiple backup plans and medical staff helping me. To those wishing me good fortune and giving actual advice and concerns, thank you very much. To everyone else, shut the fuck up and suck my dick. Yeah, I think there's also, there's dangers in going to the hospital and giving birth in a hospital as well. Women of color have, 250% higher mortality
the
mortality rate.
Mortality rate.
Just look at, like, historically, Black women were the ones that were studied for birth control and, like, pregnancies and stuff, like, without any
they weren't studied, they were experimented
on. Latino women in the 80s and 90s, they were forced, like, forcibly what's the word? Sterilized after giving birth, because, like, they couldn't read the documents, and they were like, oh, you need to sign this document before we can do this, and they can't read English, and so they just sign it, giving away the rights to sterilize them after having a child, because these white doctors, I think it was UCLA, were just like, we need to cap this, how much their population is growing in Los Angeles at this time. So it's just like, I don't trust doctors half the time. So
I don't either. Yeah, no, fuck that mother-in-law.
She can get fucked. You are not the asshole. You're doing the right thing for you and your child.
No, you're not the asshole at all. And the rest of the relatives that are calling her the asshole, first of all, she's 36 fucking weeks pregnant. Let her do what she does.
She's allowed to be.
She can do whatever she wants. I mean, within reason. But, like, it's her child. This is her situation. Like, let her do what she needs to do to keep herself and her baby safe.
Also, good luck
y'all are all
getting able to see the child after she has it. I was
gonna say, but I applaud the boundaries,
I also applaud the husband for standing with her and being like, this is our decision.
That's a common issue we see on Reddit, is people who lack boundaries or lack the ability to enforce them successfully. Cool. All right, you ready for our next one?
Yes.
So this one does have updates, so this may be a longer one. We may have to end on this one. We'll see.
Okay. That's fine.
It's called My Dad is Furious That My Mom Slept with Other People in an Open Marriage He Wanted. So the original post is from March 20th of 2022. So like I said, there's some updates. So I'll give you some different dates. So March 20th, 2022. My parents got married when they were super young. My dad knocked up my mom, and their parents married them off. my grandfather was able to set up some business for my dad in the big city, and they moved here soon after my birth. My mom grew up in a conservative southern town where she was taught to be a submissive wife. And even after moving to the big city, she didn't spend much time socializing. She had no friends and never went out. My dad was only there to provide for us. He was always away on business, and he wasn't there as a husband for my mom or as a father to me. My dad made a lot of money, so we never lacked for anything. Growing up, I became my mom's best friend. We would talk about everything. I pushed her to make friends and to find hobbies. After years of pushing, she started going to a nearby park and made her first friend, a gym trainer. Encouraged by her friend and me, she decided to join the gym. She met a few more people there and started having some resemblance of a social life, but she still continued to tell me everything. I think my dad's new secretary gave him the idea, but he asked my mom for an open marriage almost a year ago. He told her he wasn't happy in their marriage and that she wasn't providing him with everything he wanted. My mom, who is a Christian wife, in parentheses, was mortified and told me about the proposal in tears. I suggested she get a divorce, but she said she didn't believe in it and she wouldn't be the one to end their marriage. As my dad pushed, I knew exactly where this would end up if my mom agreed. Her friend and I convinced her. My mom was hesitant at first, but she agreed with the condition that they would be completely transparent with each other. My dad was a middle-aged 41 man with a belly, and my mom, 39, was an athletic woman who worked out regularly. I am a 20-year-old woman, by the way. I don't know how my dad was so blind or what he thought would happen. I helped create online dating profiles for my mom almost 6 months ago. After getting an insane number of matches, choosing from them, and chatting with them for months, my mom started hooking up with a few people. Getting all this attention has provided a massive boost to her confidence, and she seems better. My dad hooked up with his secretary almost immediately. He had very little luck with other ladies. With their transparency thing, my mom tells him about all her hookups. A few weeks ago, my dad screamed at my mom for some minor thing. Usually, my mom would have apologized, but with her new confidence, she didn't back down.
Nice.
It's been constant fights for the last few weeks. My dad keeps starting fights by making snide remarks about my mom's clothing or appearance. He almost even called my mom a whore, but stopped himself. I think open relationship finally sunk in. My mom told me he tried to have a conversation about stopping their open marriage, but she immediately shot it down. I think they'll split up. My dad was never there for either of us, but the thought of my parents splitting up still feels weird. I don't feel bad for my dad, but I wish he had put effort into his family. I'm happy for my mom, though. Thoughts before we move on to the update?
Reap what you sow.
He fucked around and found out.
He wanted, he fucked around and found out. Because he wanted permission to cheat.
Win stupid prizes. He wanted
Exactly.
That was.
So we're going to get a
on you, Mom.
I will say we'll get a conclusion to the story. So anybody have any theories as to maybe what's under the surface of this?
They're definitely getting a divorce.
Oh, yeah.
That's my theory, yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to wait and be surprised.
Okay. All right. So update the 18th of April, 2022. So the first one was March, so it's been about a month. A few days after my previous post, my dad left our home and had a divorce served to mom within a week. So he served her mom with the divorce.
If he tries to say it's for adultery, like, he's also to blame. So can't pull that shit.
My grandparents didn't know about any of this, but my dad told them when he served the divorce. He also implied to them that my mom was cheating on him. Good catch.
Men.
Both sets of grandparents came to our home and started berating my mom. I kept screenshots of all my parents' communications, and my mom showed it to them, and it got way worse after that. Grandparents started fighting with each other, blaming each other's children for causing all this. A few years after this, I can't imagine my parents being that involved in my marriage.
No, I know.
My mom would be like, this is your shit. I don't want to deal with it.
Sounds like a you problem. A few days after this, my mom's old church friends came to our home. Back when my mom used to go to church, they used to look down on her for being from a small town. My mom has always been very caring and non-judgmental, so she disagreed with their bigotry, and they began excluding her from their activities. After she met her gym friends, my mom stopped going to church entirely. These church friends started calling my mom a slut, and she kicked them out. My mom is on a cut right now, so she has very defined abs and arms. So along with all the normal stuff getting thrown at her, my grandparents accused her of having a man body. And she also had a lot of random transphobia thrown at her. Her trainer friend has been a great support through all of this. She contacted the attorney she used for her divorce, and my mom is spending a lot of time at her house. Turns out the business my dad is running is owned by my mom.
Nice.
It was set up by my mom's dad in her name, so it belongs to her. I did not know this until now and assumed that my dad owned it. The whole situation is a huge mess right now. My dad is living in some hotel, and my grandparents left yesterday after a week of fighting and trying to force my parents back together. I know there's a lot more divorce drama to come, but I hope it calms down for now.
Oh my god.
Damn.
You go, Mom.
Good on the daughter for keeping receipts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, time to start cutting people off.
Mm-hmm.
I do have one more update.
Okay.
There's one more update?
One more update. May 13th.
Oh my.
May 13th, almost 1 month later. So this all happened over the course of months.
Yeah.
A lot has happened since my last update. Firstly, I wanted to thank all the well-wishers on my previous post. Writing these posts has helped me process the stuff that's happening, so I'm making another one. My mom's attorney, the one recommended by my mom's gym friend Lisa, has been a great help. She walked my mom through what's going to happen and reassured her. She also looked through the company stuff in preparation for the divorce proceedings, and we found a lot of shocking stuff. I don't know why I was surprised by this, but my dad was having affairs for a long time. He used company resources to book flights and resorts at holiday destinations. There were receipts for many trips with multiple women spanning the last 10 years.
Oh my god.
Because he was always absent from our lives, my mom didn't suspect anything. He didn't seem like he made any effort to hide these. He also used the company email to talk to his secretary about all the affair stuff. Turns out they were fucking months before my dad asked my mom for an open relationship. This is what we gathered from their emails. After months of their affair, the secretary didn't want to remain a mistress, so she started pestering my dad to get a divorce. But they wanted my mom to initiate it so that he could get a massive chunk of the company. The secretary came up with the idea of asking my mom for an open relationship. They hoped my mom would be horrified and ask for a divorce. They were caught off guard when my mom agreed. My dad got jealous when my mom started having sex. After initiating the divorce, he deleted all his emails and told his secretary to do it too. Unfortunately for him, they were still stored on the company email server.
Mm-hmm. That's why you have to be careful. And when you're emailing in a company, you have to be so fucking careful. Those servers collect everything.
I haven't seen my dad in over a month. All of his communication has been through his attorney. He apparently wants half the company. My mom's attorneys are still looking for more evidence, but they told us that they don't expect him to get much with the evidence that they already have. Lisa has been supporting my mom through the whole ordeal. She also got a divorce because her husband cheated on her, so she's been helping my mom a lot. It says, OP also commented, I expected to go to trial because my dad is stubborn, so it's probably going to be a normal divorce proceeding moving forward. So unless something noteworthy happens, this might be the last update. And it is.
I wish there was more because I want to know how the divorce proceeding went. If it's been a year, the divorce proceeding already happened. Because but between the time my mom kicked my dad out and their divorce was final, it was just about a year.
Mm-hmm. Man,
and he also cheated.
Mm-hmm.
So
God, fuck around and find out. I hope he got nothing. What a piece of shit.
I feel like it's like the men of this generation. Like, that's wild.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say.
What an idiot.
Right?
I guess it's just part of being like
on the floor.
Yeah, I think it's just part of being like a millennial woman and like seeing how the adult women in our lives were treated by men and just having like zero tolerance for it.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you one thing from reading all these Reddit posts, I think it makes me a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing so many people's opinions, different ways to think about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think? Do we have time for one more?
Do you have a quick one?
That one's pretty. Quick? Those are all comments, aren't they? Where does
this one has an update too. I don't have to read those. So this one, let's do it. You know what?
Okay.
I'll try to read it quick. Am I the asshole for leaving my brother without childcare over a heater? So this one does have an update as well. So first post, April 14th, 2023. Forgive my bad grammar. English is not my first language. Some backstory. I live with my 35-year-old brother and his wife and 4 kids. 3 girls, 1 boy, all 4 and under. I am basically a live-in nanny for them, and I live in their house rent-free because I don't have a job. Both my brother and his wife work. When they first got pregnant, they asked me to move in with them with the promise that they would pay me for childcare. Well, that only lasted a month, and they proceeded to have 3 more kids in the process. I never complained because I do live in their house rent-free, and I know he really needs the help. Well, they recently came into money trouble, and they now owe an insane amount of money. They have both been working extra hours to make up what they owe. On to what's happened. It's been really cold lately, and because of that, the house has been cold. To turn on the heaters is a process that I don't know how to do, and my brother has been turning them all on except for my room. My room is now the coldest in the house. I can't even sleep at night with the thickest blankets. I get pain when I am cold, so I'm up all night in pain. I have been exhausted watching 4 kids by myself all day. I have been asking my brother to turn the heater on, but he says he'll get to it. Well, a week ago he told me that he was never turning on my heater because he needs to keep the bills down. I asked him if I could just have it on at night and turn the ones in the main room off during the night. He said no, that it's his house and that he'll do whatever he pleases in his house, and I don't get a say because I don't help financially.
I would disagree. You help financially a lot.
I'm sorry.
You're watching their kids for free. Yes.
They don't have to pay for daycare or babysitters.
And daycare's expensive.
Delusional.
For 4 kids? That's like thousands of dollars a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's easily probably saving them at least $80,000.
My mom my mom paid about $1,000 a month when all 3 of us were in the YMCA.
And she had 1 kid less than this. So she goes on. I didn't say anything to him right away. I just texted my mom and asked if she could pick me up. After she said she could, I told him that my mom was coming and I'll see if someone can come pick up my stuff soon. He asked me what I meant, and I only told him that he needs to find someone else to watch his kids. Either get a nanny or one of them quits because I'm not doing it anymore. He told me that I was being dramatic and he'll give me time to calm down. I said, I didn't need time, and he told me to think of the kids and how they're super attached to me. I said, I'll see them with the parent present because I don't plan on babysitting. At this point, his wife is trying to defuse the situation, and my mom showed up and asked if it was okay for me to move back, and I asked if it was okay for me to move back in with her, and she agreed and said she'll have my stepdad come pick my stuff up tomorrow. My brother has been blowing up my phone, and he told our dad, so now he's blowing up my phone too. My dad texted me asking how I could abandon them knowing they're struggling. I feel bad because I did abandon them, but I couldn't do it anymore, so am I the asshole?
No.
You set a boundary. No.
She doesn't have a job. She has no income, and they're using her. They are taking advantage of her situation.
Oh, speaking of struggling, she mentions in the comments, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and it flares up when I'm cold. My brother knew this because he was there when I was diagnosed at 16. He always seemed like he cared, and I realize now he just didn't care.
Like, when she said she was in pain, I was like, she must have gotten hurt or something growing up, because when you break something, when you hurt something, it always flares up when there's like rain or if it's cold or something.
Extreme weather.
Yeah.
She said she had a job that she quit to help her brother, and she never got another one because it was so demanding.
So she quit her job to help him. The reason she doesn't help financially is because he needed the help to watch his kid. No, he fucked up.
She said it was only ever supposed to be temporary, considering I was 18 when I moved in. I realize now it was never temporary for them.
She's fine.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so I'll drop down the update. 3 weeks later, I never expected this to blow up, and I'd like to give a thank you to all the kind words and resources you gave me. On to some good news. I got a job pretty quickly after leaving my brother's house.
Nice.
A friend who I had lost contact with after moving in with my brother is looking for a roommate, so she got a roommate. I started getting back into my old hobbies and forgot how much.
Amy? Don't move in with Amy.
I freaking hope not. I started getting back into my old hobbies and forgot how much I used to enjoy listening to music that wasn't for kids. I found a small artist I enjoy, Maze on the Beat, on Spotify, if anybody is curious. So I'll have to check it out. Feels good to listen whenever I want without having to worry what the kids will hear. I started hanging out with my friends again and just living life. On to what happened with my brother. He showed up at my mom's house at 7 a.m. the day after I left, demanding I watch his kids because it was my responsibility and I owed him for the years he let me stay with them. Thanks to some of you, I realized that I owed him nothing and told him as such. My mom, who is not his mom, by the way, threatened to call the cops if he didn't leave, which caused him to get angrier, but he eventually left. The friend, who I mentioned above, offered his home after realizing the lengths my brother might go. We agreed on 50-50 rent, and even though he offered to let me stay for free, I told him that I don't feel comfortable because I don't want to find myself in a similar situation. He assured me that he would never put me through that, but he understood my point. While I know some people are telling me to sue him for money that he owes me, I won't be doing that for the sake of his kids. They're good kids, and they're innocent in all this. I have blocked my brother, sister-in-law, and my dad, and took some advice from all of you, and told my dad that if he feels so bad, he can stay in the unheated room. Well, that's it for right now. Nothing really interesting to tell. I'm safe and happy in a house where my brother can't find me.
Nice. Good for her.
Yes. I love cutting people off. Good for you, girlfriend.
Not the asshole. NTA.
Man. Honestly, fuck that brother.
Yes.
I hope that he's suffering. I feel bad for their kids. I bet they get divorced.
Yeah.
4 under 4. That's what I read, right? 3 boys.
Yeah.
She came in when he had 1 kid, and she stayed through all the other pregnancies.
Also, I think some of the main comments are highlighting that is financial abuse.
Yeah.
They abused her by not, she didn't have the financial means to leave that situation.
They made
that
her
is abuse.
quit her job to help.
Mm-hmm.
They put her in a room, and they said, well, you're not paying rent, so you have to do this for us.
Convinced her that by not charging her rent, that it's breaking even.
No. That's not even remotely.
You owe me for all the years that I let you live there rent free. No, because she made up for it every single day that she worked there. And
more than made up for it.
4 fucking probably nightmare children.
Oh my god.
Top comment is, wow, a live-in nanny for 4 under 4. That's pricey to replace. Sounds like it would have been a lot cheaper to keep OP and just prevent her from turning into a popsicle at night.
It would have been so much cheaper.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, make sure to let us know what you guys thought of these Reddit stories. I'm curious to see everybody's thoughts and feelings and perspectives. If you guys want to, you can leave us a question on Spotify now with the Q&A feature, or you can always hit us up in our Discord server and Instagram, Thirsty Bitches Podcast. But for right now, Kiara, will you take us out with an affirmation?
Yeah. First, thanks for being on.
You're welcome.
I always appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have you on again. She says, I am a blessing. You're welcome. So today's affirmation is, I create rituals that help me fall more in love with being me. My healing and wellness is my top priority.
Nice.
I hope all the OPs also do that.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Emily, for joining us and finding the stories.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone else, for joining us as well. Make sure to tune in on Tasty Tuesdays and Thirsty Thursdays for all new episodes. Be sure to subscribe and follow our socials listed in the description. Make sure you like, rate, and leave a review for the podcast to help boost us across platforms. Have a lovely day, and remember, stay thirsty, bitches.